Hello everyone, I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. I am the author of Running, Maximize Performance, and Minimize Injuries. Thank you for viewing today's episode of Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report. Please feel free to visit my website, championshipchiropractic.com, where you can get additional information on the book and you can connect with me on other social media platforms. Please enjoy this sports medicine video. On today's episode of Dr. Ozello's Sports Medicine Report, I'm going to speak about a test that you could perform on yourself called the pulse test. There's an excellent book where you can get additional information, some in-depth information on how to perform the pulse test, and it's called the pulse test. It's written by Dr. Arthur Coca. The pulse test is a test that you can use to determine if you have a food allergy. It is a very simple test. You could perform it at home. You can test a different food every day. First of all, disclaimers. This test does not take the place of seeing a medical professional and getting professional testing done. This video does not take the place of seeing a medical professional and getting the test done. This is an instructional video to teach you about the pulse test and how to perform the pulse test. Also, use common sense when you're doing the test. If it has already been established that you have a food allergy, especially a serious food allergy, then there's no reason to do the pulse test on that food. For example, if it has been established that you have a food allergy to nuts, and it will send you into anaphylactic shock, please use common sense and do not do this test. It has already been established that you had the allergy, so you don't have to do it. Now, with all that out of the way, with all the disclaimers out of the way, the pulse test is something that you could perform at home. How the pulse test works: if you eat a food that you are allergic to, it will cause an immune reaction. One of the things that happens with an immune reaction is your pulse rate increases. Your pulse rate is your heart rate, and you're measuring the number of beats per minute. If you do not know how to take your pulse, watch one of my most recent videos on taking your pulse. You can take it manually, or if you have technology that allows you to take your pulse, you may have a fitness tracker that allows you to take your pulse, or you may also have another piece of technology. Please use those or perfect how to take your own pulse manually. The very first thing that you want to do is you want to establish a baseline. So you want to determine what your beats per minute are on a regular basis. The best time to do this is first thing in the morning. You can do it laying in bed, or you can do it seated. When you do the pulse test, obviously you're going to do it seated. So a good thing to do is to take your pulse every morning, first thing in the morning, in a seated position. Take it for 60 seconds and do this for about a week. This is going to give you a very solid baseline. Then when you start doing the test, you're going to know what your beats per minute are. So what you want to do is, after the first several days, that first week of establishing the baseline, pick one specific food every day. And you're only going to test that one food every day. You want to, say you finished eating already for about 2 hours or so. Maybe you've eaten breakfast and you have you've had 2 hours to digest your food. Then you can do the pulse test. What you want to do is you take your pulse for 1 minute, then you eat the food that you're testing. You don't even need to eat a large amount. In some paperwork, in some videos that you might watch, they just tell you to put the food in your mouth. I recommend that you eat the food. You eat the food, and immediately after you've had several bites, take your pulse again. Take it for 1 minute. Write that down. Write down the pulse, what it was before you took the test. Write it down immediately after you have eaten the food. 30 minutes later, sit in the same position and take your pulse again. 60 minutes later, do it again. So you've taken your pulse before you ate, immediately after you ate the one specific food you're testing, 30 minutes later, and then 30 minutes later after that. So you have the baseline numbers, you have before eating, you have immediately after eating, then 30 minutes after eating, and then 60 minutes after eating. If your pulse increases, you have a positive finding. This is a number, some people may say it's as high as if it increases 14, if it increases 16. If it increases in a significant amount, then you have a positive test. That means that there's an immune reaction. Your body is responding to this food. So you have to formulate dietary strategies, at least for a small amount of time, to eliminate this food from your diet. Because if you are constantly eating this food every day, it can be causing some symptoms that you didn't even know about. And it can accumulate over time. These symptoms, they can be as simple as fatigue. Some people tell me every time I eat, I get tired. So it could be because you're eating a food that you are allergic to. So again, you want to take your pulse, establish the baseline, take your pulse before you eat, take your pulse immediately after you've eaten the food, then 30 minutes later, and then 60 minutes after you've eaten the food. Write all those numbers down. Look at the numbers and see if your pulse has increased. If it has increased, then it's a positive finding and you want to eliminate that food from your dietary strategies. Each day you can test a different food. I do not recommend that you test more than one food a day, because this allows your body to calm down after you have performed the test. If you have an allergic reaction, the last thing you want to do is perform a second test on that same day and get a false reading. So do one specific food every day. Now, what you want to do is you use this test along with keeping a dietary journal. A dietary journal, some people call it a nutritional notebook, whatever you want to call it. A dietary journal, you write down everything that you've eaten. All the details. What it was, how it was prepared, how much you ate, the time of day that you ate. Write down everything. And then write down how you felt afterwards. If you went and trained afterwards, write how you felt when you were training. If you went to work, write how you felt at work. If you felt good, if you felt poorly. And then look at that and look at the results you got from doing the pulse test. It's going to give you some great information. And then also get the professional testing done. It's going to confirm your findings. It will help you a great deal to establish some nutritional strategies that work for you. That is the key. You want to determine what your individual needs are and find dietary strategies that work for you. So the pulse test is very important. It's going to help you to determine if you have an allergy to specific foods. Thank you for viewing today's episode of Dr. Ozello Sports Medicine Report. Please feel free to like this video. Please feel free to leave any questions, suggestions, or feedback in the comments section. Please feel free to visit my website, championshipchiropractic.com, where you can get additional information on my book. And again, you can connect with me on other social media platforms. Implement the pulse test into your dietary strategies. It will help you a great deal in formulating dietary strategies that work for you. It's going to help you to be healthier, fitter, increase your function, and increase your productivity in your everyday life. Always remember, train hard, train smart, stay injury-free, make the best nutritional choices you can, and accomplish your goals. I am Dr. Donald Ozello of Championship Chiropractic in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you for viewing today's episode.